This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe. I'm here to tell you all to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and remember to turn on notifications. You will be the first to know all about the latest Dragon Ball news and information.
Oh, did you say UnrealEntGaming? Oh, I love his channel.
God damn it, Zelbon, stop rubbing your nipples and get back to bed!
The long-awaited return of Emperor Frieza is finally at hand as Goku visits Frieza in the afterlife to recruit him for the upcoming Tournament of Power. All while back in Universe 6, a hidden power is awakened as Kale transcends into a monstrous Super Saiyan as the Tournament of Power is moments away from beginning as tension rises and alliances are made. What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 93 review entitled You Are the 10th Warrior. Goku goes to visit Frieza, leading into next week's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Super episode 94, which will feature the God of Destruction Sidra and hearing about Lord Frieza joining Team Universe 7 and wanting him to be destroyed in what will be a very exciting episode because at long last, ladies and gentlemen, the Tournament of Power is moments away from beginning. But a quick plug before we begin: if you guys are new to this channel, be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button for more news, information, updates, and of course discussions alongside gameplay reviews for all forms of Dragon Ball content. And make sure to also go on ahead and punch that bell icon, that way you guys are always notified whenever a Dragon Ball video is posted onto this channel, as I will be covering various Dragon Ball topics throughout the coming weeks. And of course, if you guys are not following me at Twitter, be sure to go on ahead and head over to Twitter and follow me at UnrealEntGaming to be up to date with all that is in Dragon Ball news, information, and updates. And I thank you guys for your overwhelming support on the channel, as it does go a long way. So if you guys are new, be sure to go on ahead, turn on notifications, hashtag notification squad, to be up to date with all that is in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Super episode 93 is now officially in the history books, and for many weeks now, fans of the Dragon Ball community have been up in arms due to the idea that Majin Buu has finally fallen asleep, with Goku wanting to resurrect Frieza for only 24 hours and bringing him back for the Tournament of Power. And at long last, we finally have the confrontation between Goku and Frieza in the afterlife, and what I would say was a very emotional and tension-filled episode between both Frieza and Goku. And we start the episode off exactly where we left off, with the first person having to express their frustrations, that being Krillin, because the minute Goku suggested for Frieza, the first thing Krillin said was, "What?" So the overall concept here in the beginning, I felt like it was utilized correctly, because we see how Vegeta suggests that Goku wants to use the Dragon Balls to bring back Frieza to life, and instead Goku says that he wants to go on ahead and get Baba to bring Frieza back only for 24 hours. However, it was suggested that Frieza is in hell and it's taking a long time for him to actually be cleansed, quote unquote. But either way, Vegeta and Krillin are very frustrated with Goku having the idea of having to bring back Frieza, and even so, Goku's sure that Frieza will join the team if the alternative is the universe being destroyed, probably making an educated guess that Frieza doesn't want to be erased. And Vegeta thinks that they don't need Frieza to win, but at that point, what I truly enjoyed was seeing how Goku asked Whis for his advice, and we see how Whis pretty much says he's not sure, but after all, there are some really strong universes out there, so maybe they may have a chance, but Whis is not really sure. And even so, he says that there are other universes out there with mortals that are on par with gods of destructions. So that's incredible to even conjure up the idea that there are other fighters out there on the same level of caliber as a god of destruction. And Beerus is just like soaking this all in. I truly enjoyed how he was just drinking his drink and just looking around, because Beerus doesn't really know himself if this is going to be the last time he's going to enjoy such festivities, and that's what I really enjoyed about this episode. But even as we suggest that there are other mortals out there on par as a god of destruction, we also suggested that there are other gods of destruction out there stronger than Beerus, in which Goku says that when Frieza betrays them, he and Vegeta can just destroy him. So he goes off to King Yema's place, and I'm really excited that King Yema is back, because we haven't seen King Yema at all in Dragon Ball Super thus far. The last we've seen from him was actually during the Kid Buu saga with Goku and Majin Buu and Vegeta back in Dragon Ball Z, so I thought that was pretty cool to see. And just as all of this is happening, we pan over to universe number 6, and Kaliba is really trying to get Kale and transforming into a Super Saiyan, and Kale still isn't sure if she can transform, and Kaliba continues to influence her, even demonstrating to her, you know, her powers and transforming. And Kaliba and Kaba show off their Super Saiyan transformations just for Kale, because Kale is very uncertain on transforming transforming. Now again, I am not a fan of like the whole tingly sensation going on in their back. I felt as if that was really stupid, and I think it was definitely poor writing being executed, but we see how Kale finally decides to go on ahead and, you know, give this a try because she observes Kalifa transforming. And keep in mind, I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you look closely, when Kalifa transformed into a Super Saiyan, Kale was kind of blushing there. So what's going on between those two? Who knows? But either way, she tries and she tries, and Kalifa, I think, is like the biggest bitch among the group because she's so proudful and arrogant and cocky, and Kale is attempting to transform and she fails. It's not tingly enough. And that's when Kalifa says, "What? Did I explain it wrong? Kaba, maybe you should explain it a bit more thoroughly." Because now they're all putting the blame on poor little Kaba, and Kalifa tries to insult Kale because she remembers that Kaba also insulted Kalifa, which again, you have to look at Kaba in this entire situation, and one of the faces that he made as Kalifa is yelling at him, he just kept looking at her like, I don't know what to do. And at that very point, we see how Kale is getting very angry, especially on the look on her face. So we see how Kalifa, she tries to insult her, she tries to go on ahead and get Kale angry by saying whatever, and after all, Kale is pretty much a beloved underdarling. She's not really a fighter, she's not really like a mercenary or anything like that, so she tries to insult her, but it doesn't really work. And now Kaba gives it a shot, and let me tell you, finally, when Kale actually transformed, it was possibly one of the best transformations I've seen in Dragon Ball Super so far, because as she transformed, she looks just like Broly. I mean, from head to toe, and she looks very aggressive. But the thing about what I love about her the most is she actually begins to speak. So it's not like, you know, Broly in the actual movie where he wasn't able to talk or whatever, but even here we see her speak, and she points at Kaba and saying, "I'm going to finish you off." And Kaba's shook, everyone's scared, nobody knows what the hell's going on, and I have to give props. I'm saying, guys, give the character a chance, because when she powered up, we saw like this massive green energy, lightning all over. It was great. And even Kalifa, when she was on the ground, she was like amazing, like this is insane. So what I loved about this the most was the fact that, you know, Kale's shoulders are perhaps a little too tingly, so she had a different approach. We see how her shoulders were beginning to tingle, and then finally, in that very moment, she just erupted in energy, and that was a scene in which I just loved the most. So that was, I think that was one of the best scenes for this particular episode. And just as everything is going down in universe number 6, we go to Kitera's universe, which is the mouse god of destruction, in which I cannot stand him at all. I think he's one of the most goofiest characters in the entire, like, you know, hierarchy when it comes to placement as gods. And we see that one of the henchmen that he had was actually a spy, because he was there at universe 7 while he was watching Goku talk about Frieza. And Kitera is happy to hear that Beerus is so, you know, hard up for warriors, because Kitera looks like he has, you know, sort of like an easy time finding fighters and whatnot. But the mystery guy tells him about Goku and whatnot, and then we see Goku in hell. So Goku's walking around, and he took like this taxi Uber looking dude. It was crazy. But then as Goku's walking, he approaches the tree, and he sees the tree, and inside of that tree he goes, "Yo, Frieza!" And Frieza opens his eye, he turns around, and when he sees Goku, I swear to you, his face was like, what? Like, he was just like, Goku. Like, he wasn't really like, you know, crazy pissed off or whatever, like, but just the fact that he said, "What are you doing here?" And then Goku goes, "Gee, you look all pretty nice and cozy." And for Frieza to say, "For me, this is the worst hell of them all." So Frieza can't seem to escape their talking, and I love the first interaction, because instead of Frieza losing his mind, he was actually pretty calm. In which, as they're talking, we pan back to universe number 6, and we see how they copy and pasted Kale's moves and Broly's moves, because she did a move in the first Broly movie where she approached Gohan, or at least when Broly approached Gohan and blasted him through his chest. So, you know, we see similarities, like they copy and pasted Broly's moves onto Kale. And if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go back to the very first Broly movie when Broly first attacked Gohan and he pretty much hit him with like this ki blast with his chest. She did the exact same thing with Kaba as she blew him into the freaking mountain. So we see Super Saiyan Kaba and we see Super Saiyan Kalifa versus Kale, and this was a very intense fight, because even Kaba, he's trying to block off Kale, and she is a beast. Like, the way she's throwing shots and stuff, I'm gonna have to say she is definitely something out of the blue, because because as Kaba is punching her, I mean, he gets hit with all these ki blasts, and we see how right then and there, she's absorbing all of Kaba's attacks, and she begins to power up even more. And again, she sticks her hand out, and they copy Broly's moves. They copy everything Broly did, and once Kaliba noticed that Kaba was going to be destroyed, we see how Kaba tries to calm Kale down, because at this very point, we see the blast heading right towards him, and at that very point, Kaliba transforms into a Super Saiyan 2. So as Kaliba, yes, as she transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, she deflects the attack. So what's remarkable about this is how Kaba even himself is staring at Kaliba, and Kaliba is very impressed by Kale's power, but everyone is trying to get her to calm down, and we see how at that very point, Kaliba assures Kale that, you know, nobody's falling for Kaba, and Kale begins to calm down. So this was like a matter of like a crush kind of thing, because that was the only thing she needed to say in order to calm Kale down. So lots of similarities between Kale and Broly. I'm gonna touch up on that in my video tomorrow, because that, I mean, there are key differences here, but Super Saiyan 2 Kaliba may actually be stronger, judging based on how you want to look at it, because she was able to deflect her attack like it was nothing. But even then, we go back to hell and Goku frees Frieza. And we see how Frieza falls down, and Goku asks him about joining the tournament, and you know, that's when Frieza says, "I refuse." And that's when he begins to walk away, and that's when Frieza's like, wait, I was kidding. And Goku stops in his tracks, and Frieza has one condition. If they win and the universe isn't destroyed, they would get to use the Dragon Balls to bring him back for good. So as I told everybody, that was going to be Frieza's one and only concern. He wants to be brought back to life. That's the one thing he wants. He does not want to be in hell. So he agrees in an essence, but he does want, he does want life. That's what he wants. And Goku at that point is a little concerned, because they don't know like where they stand with this whole idea of Frieza having to be brought back to life if they win, because that's Frieza's one and only condition. And with all of that, Frieza transforms into his golden form, and Goku having to say, "You think I'm gonna agree to that?" And Frieza says, well, he's just gonna get stronger anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And Goku, I mean, before even doing anything, he's in his stance, and like there's like a moment of tension, because it's golden Frieza, it's base form Goku, and the visuals of this, I think, were amazing. Even though the animation could have been a bit better, I mean, this actually brings relevance to the Resurrection F arc, to the Resurrection F movie, and for anyone out there who doesn't know, I mean, this definitely is gonna have some sort of connection to that, because once Goku brings up the idea of the Super Giant Dragon Balls, Frieza is content with using the Earth's Dragon Balls, and that's when Frieza is disappointed to hear that the tournament forbids to kill people, because that's what Frieza wants to do. Frieza wants to kill people, and he even tells Goku, like, I want to do that, and Goku once again begins to walk away, because you can't have someone not be on the same page as you. Baba's watching, everyone's watching, and then finally, Goku's talking to Baba, and Baba's like, how could you, be so cynical? How could you allow, some such terms and conditions? And Goku goes back to Earth, and he tells Baba, and she's already heard everything through King Yama, because that's when Goku explained pretty much the gravity of the situation here. But by the end of it, as Goku's talking to Baba, he tries to give her the Omni button, and she doesn't want it because she thinks it's too dangerous. And we go back to Kitara's universe, and there's something up with Kitara, because keep in mind, Kitara does have a big beef with Beerus. He doesn't like Beerus, and he has a very cunning plan to destroy universe number 7, because remember, his whole ideology here, his whole philosophy is the fact that him and Beerus go back a very long way. So he does have a plan to defeat Beerus, and right then and there, the tournament stage comes together as we finish the episode. But I would like to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Did you guys enjoy the episode? Did you guys dislike the episode? What would you guys change about the episode? What are your overall thoughts on Kale's transformation? What are your overall thoughts on Frieza's demands? And what are your overall thoughts on the episode as a whole? Do you guys firmly believe that Frieza is going to have a placement, especially going into next week's episode? Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to go on ahead and hit that subscribe button for more news, information, and updates. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below if you guys are finally ready to see the upcoming Tournament of Power. Tune back in for more, as I will be sharing my breakdown and prediction videos later. Thank you guys for watching. As always, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great night, guys. Peace.